Hello and welcome back to K&F Design. If you're new here, my name is Katie. Please head down below and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our crafting projects. Today I have this fun ghost sign for you. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to apply HTV, also known as iron-on vinyl, to wood, as well as permanent vinyl to wood. Now this is a pre-sanded piece of wood, which is very important to get for this project. This one here just came from Dollar Tree, but it's important to have it pre-sanded or sanded down yourself so that your vinyls, either one, will stick well to it. And then I'll also be making a cute little bow as well. So if you want to learn how to make this, let's dive into Cricut Design Space first. Also, if you don't have a Cricut, you can just do letters yourself, either with like a paint and a stencil. You could use some stickers or the transfer stickers. The ghosts, you could actually, they are so hard to find, but there are ghosts at Dollar Tree. I was going to use originally, but I could not find any. So if you have luck, you could do those ghosts instead. If you like my little cat ghosts and all of this, go down below and head to my library and you can pick that up for free there. So let's start crafting. I just uploaded my sign here to Cricut Design Space, and this is how it'll look when it comes in. I just placed the cats how I liked, but feel free to move them around. You'll just have to hit ungroup. And actually before you hit ungroup, I would size it and make sure this lock icon is in the lock position so things don't shift weird on you. We want it to move proportionately. Now my sign is not quite 12 inches, it's actually 11.8 or 30 centimeters. So that's what I put it in as. And then you can hit ungroup once you get your sizes, and then you can move your cats how you would like them to be. If you like this arrangement and you don't want to do any work with changing them, then you can select all of your cats. You can either print them on the most efficient way to save the most vinyl, and that would be exactly how they are now. Or if you want to keep them in the same exact spacing, and that way you just put them directly on the board, then just click on all of them. Oops, it looks like we missed one here. And one up here. Okay, got them all. And then hit the attach button. And that way they'll all move together as one. So, I don't know if you noticed, down here there's a little exclamation point. It's just saying it's too big for the mat. But that's okay because we're not actually going to cut that piece out. And same with the line. That was just for measuring purposes so we can see the arrangements and things like that. So you don't actually cut those out. I'm going to undo the attachment here, detach, just to show you something. So let's say we want to change and put this cat, maybe we want another one peeking out the side here. If you wanted to do that, first select your circle and hit right click duplicate. You could also duplicate it here. And with that circle and that other circle both selected, go up to align and center. Just so we can see, I'm going to move that one circle to the back. So we'll say we want our cat to go right here and we don't want this extra cutting off. we want it cut off, just select the cat and that extra circle, and then you can slice. It takes just a minute, but then as you can see, it's a nice clean cut there. And then we also don't need this circle where he was cut out of. So that would go away, and that would go away. And so now he's nicely cut here. Oops, I cut him another time. There we go. And he can line up right there. So that one's another one that can go. So I already did that in my design with one of the cats. You can also change the sizes of the cats if you would like. You can change the positioning of them if you want them going different ways. So you can kind of play around with them that way, along with your words. If you don't want "Hey Boo," maybe you want "Happy Halloween," just add a text, and that's all things that you can do there. Alright, so we have our sign how we want it again. Like I said, we don't actually want to cut out the circle because we already have the piece of wood. So you can either hide it or you could delete it. You don't need this line either, so we can hide it. If you wanted, you could make a thick line. I would actually probably do it with a rectangle here, and then something like that. If you wanted a line, you could do that. But I don't think I'm going to do one. So I want actually all my cats to be white. You don't have to actually change the colors if you don't want to. There, now they're all white. But I do want the "Hey Boo" and the ghosts to be a different color vinyl, so that's why I'm changing the colors. And that looks good, so don't forget, you can always save it. And then we will make it. I picked up this wood sign here from Dollar Tree, just their crafter square thing. It's not quite a 12-inch, so it makes the measurements just a little off. So make sure you measure yours, they might be different. But for $1, not too bad. This here can come off easily if you just bend it, turn it sideways, and then you push it right through the hole. If you want to put it back in, you just turn it sideways, feed it through the hole, and then it's locked in place again. So I'm going to take these off for the painting, and I'll put them on later. If you don't like that at all, you could get a different one. I did go ahead and make a line, with a ruler and a pencil, and I went from the top and measured 16.5 centimeters. That was just easier conversion-wise than my inches. And so I'm going to do the top half like a stain look with some of my brown paint, and then the bottom half I'm going to make black, and then I'm going to have my ghost white on top of the black, and then I'll have it say "Hey Boo" at the top. In my design, you could do it with the Cricut and do vinyl. You can use infusible ink, you can use infusible ink on wood. You can use HTV on wood, and you can also use permanent vinyl on wood. So if you paint or stain your board first, let it completely dry, and then apply like a polyacrylic, I just have it in a little bottle here, over your board once it's dry to protect the paint and whatnot from coming up when you apply your transfer tape and things like that, or if you're applying heat to it, that just helps protect your wood. If you're just going to leave it on in the inside, then once you put your either HTV or permanent vinyl, that's all you have to do. But if you want the sign outside and you want a little extra protected, you can use the polyacrylic on permanent vinyl, but if you do it on HTV, for some reason that makes it a little cloudy. So you would want to do something like a spray protectant layer over that. You're going to want to do paint, let it dry, protective layer like polyacrylic, let it dry, vinyl, and then if you want an extra protected layer, then you can do it like a spray protectant layer. So first, let's go ahead and start painting. Chalk paints and thicker paints tend to work better on wood, so you don't have to do as many layers. You could do spray paint as well if you wanted, but again, you'd have to use a few more layers. I am going to use, I think I'm going to do some tape just instead of freehanding, just so it's a little bit cleaner lines. So now that our black paint is dry, we can remove the painter's tape and place it back down so we can do the top stain. Now, I'm not actually going to do a stain on the top layer, I just want it to look like it's stained. So I'm going to actually use my brown apple barrel. It's called brown oxide colored paint. And you can do two ways. You can just paint it on, and while it's still wet, wipe it off with a dry paper towel. You could use a wet paper towel, or even a wet wipe. So I'm just taking my wet wipe, dipping it in my paint there. It kind of looks like it's a stain. My board is completely dry, so I'm just going to apply the polyacrylic. So I want to show you both types of vinyl, the permanent as well as the HTV. So for the HTV, don't forget the shiny side that has that carrier sheet needs to go down on your mat, so you don't want to cut through the carrier sheet. And then don't forget to mirror it as well. Now for the fun part of weeding, the black is regular permanent vinyl. I like to start at a corner, kind of bend it so I can see it. I will tear or cut it so it just is a little bit easier to work with. Nice thing about doing the HTV with these cats is their eyes and whiskers are going to be very thin, so it'll be easier to weed with the HTV versus premium vinyl. Those small details. And I did make it easier myself, and I attached all of the cats, so they'll be in the arrangement that I want. So I redid all of my little cats here. The eyes and whiskers, it's just the horse, so you see the black underneath. Just make sure to line up this little guy if you do one coming out of the corner like that, and make sure nothing's like going over your line. And it should stay down pretty well because the transfer tape has some stick to it. If not, you can use some heat resistant tape. And then just make sure you have some way to protect your surface. So I have a pressing mat here. I'm going to be using my Easy Press. I'm setting it to 280 for 40 seconds. And I also want to put a Teflon sheet to protect my wood so the heat doesn't burn the wood over there. So that's just a heat safe Teflon sheet that I'm putting on top. Let's see. There's one ghost over here. Oops. One ghost over here that is not quite covered, so I'll press it again over that way. If you're doing a mini press, I would put it to the middle setting on those. Cricut says, I believe it's 300 degrees for the wood, but I like to go a little bit less just so I don't scorch my wood. And just remember that HTV is a cold peel, so this heat is what activates that stickiness to make it stick to our wood. So we want to wait until it is cool to touch before we peel it off. Otherwise it will not stick as well. You can remove the Teflon sheets, but this here is what we will wait to peel until it is nice and cool. Alright, so since this is permanent vinyl, not HTV like a ghost, I'm just going to use some transfer tape here and place it onto our wood directly. This is burnishing it, so it will transfer to my transfer tape here. You can do everything with the HTV or everything with the permanent vinyl. I just wanted to show you that they both work, and so you can kind of see a little bit of the difference if you like one way versus the other. That's why I picked two different types of vinyl. Personally, for ease, I think I would just pick one. Make sure you do the front and the back, and then just peel it back and it should transfer. If anything is not sticking, you can go back and burnish it again. You can use a weeding tool or your fingers to kind of help it. And it's okay that this one little piece didn't have anything. Now, the wood is still a little warm, so I think I'll wait until it cools. Well, it's not too warm up here, so it should be okay. I'm thinking about doing a bow, and I don't know if I want to do a bow on the side and then do this on the side versus the center. I think I might do that. I'll do a little bow over here, see how it looks. Maybe I should wait to do this in case I mess up my bow. So let me do the bow first before. Sometimes my bows are not the best, so we'll see. Since I'm not the best at making bows, I turned to the internet. So I will link the video I'm watching to make my bow down below so you can also follow her as well. She said make your first bow, your first ribbon here 26 inches long. The next one's 24 inches long. And then these are the 2.5 inch thick. This one is from Dollar Tree. This one I had on hand. I don't remember where I got that one. Maybe Hobby Lobby. It is also 2.5 inches thick. This one's supposed to be 1.5 inches thick, and I did not have any 1.5 inch thick ribbon. So we'll see how it works with this one. I thought those kind of looked good together. And so this one is 22 inches long. You also need twine and a zip tie. So let's see if this works. like this little extra ribbon piece that I had in the center versus showing that twine. So that's up to you. I guess technically we don't need that then, since it's just there to cover up a zip tie, so I might as well use it for another project. So I'm just going to use my hot glue to attach this. As always, hot glue is hot and it will go through the fabric, so just be careful when working with it. I'm going to cut this extra off just so it doesn't show through the other side. And then you can keep messing with your bow and fluffing it up. So I think I want my bow off-centered like that. And then we'll also have our hanging mechanism here. Just slide that back through. So I think I want my bow kind of off to the side, and then a hey boo, maybe watch my cat's head there. So I think I kind of like the bow there. I might actually even go in with a little bit of Gorilla Glue just to help hold it in place. Could even glue down some of your ribbons to hold them where you want them if you want, or if you want them just kind of flowing, you can do that too. Let's take off this carrier sheet here. So the permanent vinyl is going to be glossy, and then the HTV is a matte. If you wanted to, I just applied my bow, but if it's gonna go outside and you just really wanna make sure it's on there well, you can put another layer. I would do a spray versus the polyacrylic like we did earlier. But it is ready to be hung. I just love how this little ghost sign turned out, and with the little cat ghost, just add my little extra flair to it. So I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I look forward to hearing and seeing how your ghost sign turns out as well. And if this worked for you making bows, I kind of liked this technique. So I'm gonna go hang this on my door. I'll see you next week.